Hi, I'm Lisa from Injury Recovery Coaching, and I want to welcome you. This is the second video of the series, Finding Your Path Forward. And today I want to talk about self-talk. That's what I term it as self-talk. It's how we talk to ourselves. You know, we're constantly bombarded throughout the day with messages we give ourselves, we say to ourselves, we have messages about the world and how the world operates, and our mind is constantly going. And that's what I'm referring to as self-talk. Some people may even think of it as, you have an angel on one shoulder and then you have the devil on the other. And you may find that, that devil is always saying things like, oh, you can't do that, or what will people think? They're going to think you're stupid, or what makes you think you can do that? Or you're not important, you don't have any worth. And then you may find the angel on the other side saying, yeah, that sounds like fun, let's do that. Or you are important, you are lovable, let's try this, let's take the risk and try it. So, it's those messages that are crucial for us to pay attention to, especially during those times when we find we're not motivated. Why aren't we motivated? What are we saying to ourselves that is preventing us from moving forward? It's important to look at times when we're frustrated or angry. For example, what's the injustice? What is it we're angry about? What are we saying to ourselves about another person, about the world, about the situation? We need to really, at those times where those emotions are uncomfortable, that's the time to stop what you're doing and really think about, what is the message I'm telling myself? Life and death are in the power of our words. So we may not necessarily be saying these things out loud. We probably are. But even if we say them in our head, these are messages that affect our whole being and who we are. There's one study, I can't cite the source, but it's where children are in a classroom and there's two plants, and one plant, they say loving things to it. Oh, you're beautiful and you're going to grow so big and green and lush. And then another plant, they spoke bad things. Oh, you're an ugly plant. You're going to die up and dry, or, something like that. But the end result was crazy because the plant they spoke loving to flourished. And the other plant they spoke mean to died. And I think that's important for you to understand that that is the way of life. We have to find a way to nurture ourselves. You have to find a way to nurture yourself. If you don't do it, who else will? Okay. And it's going to make all the difference in the world about whether you move forward, about whether you're motivated, you're willing to take a risk, you're willing to suffer the consequences. Well, not necessarily suffer, but accept the consequences. And it all depends on the messages we give ourselves. Okay, this is something you didn't learn in therapy, but this is something that is crucial to really begin paying attention to and working on and changing to motivate yourself forward. So I'm sure as a stroke survivor, it's very easy to focus in on your limitations, what you can't do, what you are no longer able to do and once could do. But this is where the importance of thinking outside of the box comes in, because if you want to move forward, you have to think about the solutions. And in saying that, let's take an example of your self-talk. Let's say you want to meet an old friend and you're probably saying to yourself, oh my gosh, It's going to be so awkward. What are they going to think? What are they going to say? They're going to think I'm an invalid. They're going to, they're not going to see me for who I really am. And, and you end up talking yourself out of meeting that friend or calling that friend. And so a whole opportunity to expand yourself in a relationship or a friendship is gone. And I really argue, as a stroke survivor, I don't think your personal limitations, your physical limitations are your biggest problem. This is with anybody, but all of us, our biggest battle is right up here. It's with our mind. So what I challenge you to do is, like I said, when you are feeling feelings that are uncomfortable, use that as a cue for you to stop, figure out what you're saying to yourself or what you're saying about the world or about somebody else, and really begin thinking about, is that an accurate message? If you're telling yourself you can't, is that message really valid? How do you know unless you try? Maybe your message could be, you know what, I'm going to give it everything I've got and try to move forward and overcome this. Or maybe your message will be, you know what, I'm going to ask somebody else if they can help me with this. Or, it's okay that I can't do it because I'm still working toward it. Okay. If you can be more nurturing to yourself in what you say to yourself, then it's easier to move forward. Otherwise, we all get stuck in that vicious cycle of saying we can't, so then we don't try, so then we feel bad about ourselves, and then, we start continuing to talk negative, and it's a vicious downward spiral that we all get into. So the challenge, again, for you is to, what's that message you're saying? Okay, that's the first part. The second part is, make that message more positive. How can you make that more positive so you're encouraging yourself? You're not letting that little devil on your shoulder kick you in the groin, okay? But you're the angel on your shoulder, encouraging you forward, supporting you, loving you, embracing you, valuing you, okay? What do you need to say to yourself to give yourself permission to move on, to get out of that stuckness? So that's the second challenge. First is identify what you're saying to yourself. Second is really look at that message. Is it valid? I'm sure it's not if it's condemning, and make it more positive. Okay. And then the thing is, doing it one time isn't going to make a difference. That's something that you need to repeat. I'm sure you've heard of self-affirmations, and, there's so much research out there that shows that self-affirmations, consistently saying them and repetitively, really do make a change in how a person sees himself and feels about themselves. So the same goes with the self-talk. The more you can think more positively with your messages, repeat them, write them down. If you find you're giving yourself a negative self-message a lot, come up with an alternative, a more positive, encouraging one. Write it down 100 times a day for 30 days. I heard it takes 30 days for a habit to form. So you can't give up. It has to be repetition and consistency. Those are the two main things. Okay. Write it in a journal, record it on your phone, listen to it while you're sleeping, listen to it while you're, getting ready in the morning, and practice. So with that said, I would love to hear your comments. Please comment below. And click the link below too for the website, Injury Recovery Coaching. There's some other information you may find helpful. And you can also use that site to get the links to the whole series I'm doing. There's 4 videos. And let me know how it's going. So until next time, good luck.